Hello, everyone. My name is Scott McCamish, and I work in the SILSA department as the Engaged Learning Administrative Coordinator. It's my job to handle some of the logistical and administrative stuff that goes on behind the scenes with EL classes, but also to get you all familiar with Gales Engage, which we will talk about in just a moment. So the goal of this orientation today is to help you learn how to navigate that platform and hopefully plant some seeds as to why engaged learning has this really great learning potential if you invest in it. So what we are going to learn is how to navigate that Gales Engage platform, and to ensure that you all get your hours logged in to Gales Engage so that you can get your EL credits. And then we'll touch upon the purpose of EL, which is really all about applying what you're learning in the classroom into your service outside of those four walls. So Gales Engage is the platform that we use to register for our service opportunities that we have within our Engaged Learning classes. And then once we serve with one of those opportunities, we go and log our impacts, also known as our hours. And so this is how you track your Engaged Learning service, is through this platform. So to find Gales Engage, you're going to want to log into your My SMC account using your St. Mary's username and password. From the portal on the left-sided menu, click on All Apps, and then it will show this drop down here with all the applications. Click on Gales Engage. It's the bright red one with the head, heart, and hands logo, and it says Gales Engage. From there, once you click on Gales Engage, you're going to want to claim your accounts, and you do that by signing up with your SMC email and password. So your SMC credentials is going to be your way into Gales Engage every time, and it should remember it and auto-populate once you've done it once. And then once you've signed in, go ahead and click on Switch to New View. This is an updated version of the platform. It's a little bit more user-friendly and, in my opinion, aesthetically pleasing. So do that. And then once you clicked on New View, it changes the look of the platform. And you'll see these different options in the top right corner, and you click on Activity, which will give a drop-down menu where you click on Classes, and then it will show all the classes that you are enrolled in for your fall semester or spring semester, whenever you're watching this video. So we see Gideon is in TRS. We know he's a man of God. So he would click on classes and then TRS, and then that would take him to the TRS 17 course page. And so again, this might look different for you, obviously, depending upon the class you're in. But from this classes page, which is here, you click on your class and view the available service opportunities, which will be listed below. Once you have clicked on your service opportunity, select register, and then press continue to confirm registration. So once you've coordinated with your professor and you know what partnership you're going to be serving with, go ahead and register for the service opportunity. From there, once we've begun our service and completed some hours, we go back into Gales Engage and do what we call adding an impact. And this is the language that they use on the platform, but it really just means logging your hours. And so to do that, you have to navigate back to your course homepage. So which again, the instructions are here. You go activity, which was in that top right corner, click on classes, and then add impact. So once you've registered for your service opportunity, this button will show up on your course page. Click on it, and it will take you to a form here that will ask you questions about the nature of your service. You go ahead and fill it out, ensure that your verifier is either your professor or your community partner. That's something you're going to want to clarify with your professor. It's not going to be myself, Scott McCamish, or Sarah Dempsey. We don't want to get those routed to us. We will be able to route them back to the correct verifier, but it saves us a step if you know that the verifier is who it is supposed to be. Super quickly, I'm going to show you how to navigate to your St. Mary's portal. If you are unfamiliar with that process, you go My SMC, boom, go to the St. Mary's websites, top right corner there. And then it takes you to your portal. Mine's a little bit different. Obviously, you aren't staff, you'll be students. And then all apps, you scroll down, Gales Engage. Once you are into Gales Engage and you signed in, you can look at our options up here. You go to activity, click on classes, and then it will populate with the classes that you are enrolled in. Again, yours will look different. I'm supervising all these classes. Yours will just show the ones that you're currently enrolled in for the semester. Once you've clicked on your course, it will take you to the course homepage, which will look something just like this. You scroll down to the bottom and see all of the service opportunities that are available. Click on the one that you will be doing service with, and it'll have some information about the service itself, the requirements, location, and then an option to register. Click on register. Of course, you thoroughly read these liability waivers, press continue, and then you are registered. Now, once you have completed your service, you can go ahead and add that impact. So you can click on add impact by from the event itself, or you can navigate back to the course homepage and click on add impact from there. So I'll do it from here. I'll specify that it was with Catholic Charities of the East Bay. My instructor, Carrie Davis, will be the verifier. And then my service hours will be converted to a decimal. So if that means I did an hour and a half, it's going to be 1.5. If I did an hour and 45 minutes, it would be 1.75. We need that converted into a decimal for it to understand the amount of time. Do a little reflection if it's required. Great experience. Learned a lot, but maybe tell us what you learned as well. Click on the bottom, add impact. You don't need to mess with any of this. And then you get confirmation that you added your impact. Off-campus partnerships have some additional steps that that you're required to do before engaging in your service. And so that's what I'm covering in this slide. First of all, if you're going to want to drive your own vehicle to and from your service site, you're going to need to complete an MVR and a driver training self-registration. The MVR stands for motor vehicle registration. It's the college's way of looking at your DMV record and making sure that you're an okay driver. And the driver training self-registration is a quick, online, super easy driver training that kind of just indicates that you know how to properly drive on the road. So you need to complete both of those in order to be an approved driver for St. Mary's. And having that approved driver status is how you're going to get ultimately reimbursed for essentially the mileage and gas that you use when you're driving to and from your service site. So those are required. Without those two steps, you can't get reimbursed. It happens every semester. Somebody doesn't follow through with that process and we can't give them the money they want. So don't be that person. Also, a lot of partner sites require Livescan fingerprints. This is essentially a background check. You can get them done at Moraga UPS. They do prefer appointments, so try and call ahead. There's also a lot of other Livescan locations in Contra Costa. But yeah, you get that form from your partner site. It has a unique ID code that gets routed back to their organization. So you need to get the form from them. Then you fill out the applicant information section, just like your name and information about yourself. And then you bring that form in and get the fingerprinting done. Make sure you keep a receipt or a copy of the Livescan form, because you can get reimbursed for that expense. It's usually like anywhere from 30 to 60 bucks. So keep the receipt, we can get your money back. And then some sites also require tuberculosis screening or testing. If they require a screening, the process is to go into your My SMC health portal and make sure you've completed the electronic tuberculosis screening for the college. And if you haven't, complete that screening and then reach out to the health center, and then they can verify that you've completed it. And then you can share that information with your partner site. Or if you don't pass that screening, you can reach out to me and we can figure out next steps. The health center doesn't offer the actual testing anymore, but they do help with the screening process. So get the screening. It's available on your My SMC health portal. Then reach out to the health center. Once you've completed the screening, they'll verify it. If you don't pass the test, contact me and we will figure out how to move forward with the actual testing process. So just as a reminder, the college will reimburse for the mileage you put on your vehicle at a set rate. It's like 65 cents a mile or something like that. I'll follow up with some more information about the specific requirements. There is kind of some strict guidelines to follow with the mileage reimbursement process, but I'll thoroughly break that down in a message to your class. We can also provide reimbursements for BART fares. If you are taking BART, just let us know which BART stations you're going to be traveling to. And then we will calculate that on our end. And then again, if you have the Livescan receipt or the TB tests, we will figure out reimbursements for both of those. So the college will not reimburse for Ubers or Lyfts. The fares are too inconsistent. And then for more than 30 miles per trip, round trip. So that means if you're going to be, a lot of our partner sites are within 30 miles round trip, but there are some who are like around 28 or 29. So that does mean to take the most, efficient route there in terms of the actual mileage. So sometimes the scenic route isn't going to be the best way because it's going to be a couple more miles and you won't get reimbursed if it's over the 30-mile round trip per trip limit. And then can't reimburse if you don't have your receipt and if you're not an approved driver. So I know that was kind of a lot, but again, I am here as a resource to walk you through any of these steps. I'll send follow-up information covering this stuff about the driving logistics, the reimbursement process, and everything else you need to know. So feel free to reach out with any questions, and I'm happy to clarify anything. SILSA is the department on campus that helps to coordinate and run some of these engaged learning programs. It also serves as a social justice and larger community engagement hub on our campus. A lot of the work SILSA does focuses on creating opportunities for students to engage both thoughtfully and critically with our college campus and our surrounding community and partners. SILSA uses the head, heart, and hands model as a way to guide engagement and ensure that the work we are doing is both conscious and productive. And this is a great model to have in mind as you all embark on your engaged learning experience. And so to explain it briefly, the model is designed to outline the holistic nature of service learning and the intellectual, emotional, and physical steps that go into creating a transformative engagement experience. This model and your EL work really all starts with using your head. And so this involves thinking about what concepts and ideas you are learning about in your class and how they may relate to the work you are doing in your community. Secondly, with our hearts, we are working to understand our own relation to the community and the work we are doing. Important questions to ask yourself in this stage are, how is this work impacting our partner/community site? And how does this work make us feel? Some classes come face to face with systems of injustice and can feel overwhelmed or drained by the work they are doing. But how can these emotions be transformed into sources of inspiration or catalysts to motivate and deepen the work we engage in? Lastly, once we've developed knowledge about what we are doing with our heads and feel why it's important with our hearts, the next step is to take action. This is where what you are doing in your service opportunity comes into play. And for some, it's literally using your hands to dig up parts of the legacy garden. For others, it's working to develop a marketing strategy for Contra Costa Food Bank. There's a wide variety of different engaged learning service opportunities at St. Mary's, but regardless of the specific work you are doing, the head, heart, and hands model is applicable because it encourages us to invest in our EL sites by thinking, feeling, and acting on a deeper, more productive level. You are all enrolled in this engaged learning class. So for larger zoomed out context, engaged learning is a type of class that is designed to get us out of the classroom and into the world. And so EL works well because it bursts our academic bubbles. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of good learning that goes on in the classroom walls, but sometimes that learning can be confined when it's not paired or complemented with an experience outside of the classroom. Engaged learning works to integrate different realities that exist outside of our college, and stepping into that outside community or into other parts of our St. Mary's campus can broaden our perspective and enrich our learning. It also creates a relationship between the college and community and helps us learn more about what it means to be a civic and responsible modern day citizen. Engaged learning is also all about helping us become more critical and reflective thinkers. And so throughout EL, we want to think deeply about our experiences and how our time in these communities informs our own understanding of what it means to be a conscious and responsible citizen. Critical thinking also implies being aware of how your work is impacting the community and reflecting on why they may need that help in the first place. And so perhaps there is a racist or patriarchal or neoliberal system that has created injustice in that community. And I know that's a lot of big kind of buzzwords, but really critical thinking works to identify systems and see how they are impacting the engaged learning sites. So ultimately, EL is all about taking and enriching your learning by stepping outside of the classroom and then thinking and reflecting deeply about the experiences you have while in your site. I've been in courses where engaged learning can sometimes feel difficult or non-productive. And as I further developed myself as a student and took more engaged learning courses, I began to understand that the way you approach these experiences has a lot of influence on the learning you get out of it. And so I'm hoping with this slide, I can help you all get a little bit of a deeper, more meaningful, engaged learning experience with a couple quick tips. And so a massive engaged learning essential is participating in this process of self-reflexivity. Self-reflexivity is the concept of becoming increasingly self-aware about yourself. It is paying attention to the way you think, act, and feel, and questioning what is causing you to think, act, and feel that way. I consider self-reflexivity almost like an interrogation of your own thought process. And this interrogation can take some weird turns when you're doing that inner searching, but anchor yourself by examining how your own identities may play a role in all of this. How does your position within society influence your perception of your engaged learning site? What can you learn about yourself and your engaged learning experience when you factor in your racial, cultural, socioeconomic, and gender identities? And lastly here, it's something that you all do very well. It's just be a student, carry yourself with a level of professionalism, but know there's a lot to learn and that your community site has a lot of knowledge if you allow yourself to be open to receiving it. I threw in this quote by Ram Dass that says, when you know how to listen, everybody is the guru. And to me, it's indicating that every moment is an opportunity to learn, and our engaged learning sites are rich with those opportunities when you go in looking for them. So learn how to listen, see the guru in everybody and everything. And if you view your EL site as an extension of your classroom, and know that it's okay to make mistakes, as long as you learn from them, you will come out of this with some new knowledge and skills. That's my guarantee. And so for some EL classes, these tips will be more relevant and useful than others, but I encourage you all to think about these things anyways, as they are valuable perspectives to have for engaged learning, but also for any time you are stepping into a new community. So thank you all for listening to my spiel. I truly believe that EL can be a very powerful, eye-opening experience, but I know it takes work and dedication to make that happen. If you have any questions throughout the entirety of the semester, feel free to reach out to me. You can reach me at SDM6. That's my email. More than happy to talk about anything that I covered today or to dive deeper into some of this amazing, valuable literature on EL. Dr. Sarah Dempsey is also a great resource for all this stuff. We are in the second floor of Ferrigiaro Hall, suite 203. I'm in there from 8:30 to 1:15 Mondays through Thursdays, and I'm going to work remotely on Fridays. But again, coordinate a time to meet with me, and we can touch base about any of these things. And I hope you all have an incredible semester and engaged learning experience. Thank you.